fact that he does have a soulmate, and his name is Aaron Charles. That's his middle name, Rodgers.
Yep.
Yeah, you know it, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah, the more I thought about it, I slept on it last night.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yes.
I think he's my soulmate.
So, and you know what? The more I thought about it and slept on it, his soulmates exist because the love between Aaron Rodgers and Matt Hamilton, and really Matt Hamilton and Aaron Rodgers,
the love between
is very, very strong.
I've got enough love for the two of us, Strofe.
He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. We're live from the Everlight Solar studio. At Jim and Matt is our Twitter handle. You can see us do our video live there and on YouTube. And Alex, I believe you are going to share that video of Matt discovering that Aaron Rodgers is his soulmate sometime after the show today, then?
Yeah, that's correct.
All righty. So you can
That's
follow
great.
at Jim and Matt as well. I may have tried to just speak that into existence. I know Alex has
great.
started it, and so I want to make sure he finishes it. So if I say it out loud, maybe it will happen. Manifest destiny there, right? You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's-
We'll just speak it
I
into
think Strofe's
existence.
going to nail it, too. He loves...
I would actually prefer not to have your reassurance. Thanks.
No, it's more that you're so good at dunking on me that when you have a task that is specifically set to, like, dunk
Everybody's
on me,
ego takes a shot on this show.
I think you're going to nail it.
Thanks, man.
All right. Speaking of nailing it, the NFL is just nailing players left and right. There's going to be multiple suspensions of a year or more in the NFL, and I find it completely ridiculous. And we'll get into it, Matt Hamilton, but the NFL has basically started to lay down the gauntlet as far as suspending players, and it is absolutely, I would say, massive levels of hypocrisy from the NFL. Isaiah Rodgers is expected to receive a season-long suspension. He is a cornerback and kick returner for the Indianapolis Colts. That's per Adam Schefter. Meanwhile, you know, other people who have done 10,000 worse things are not suspended for a year. So let's set that aside.
Right.
And let's set aside the fact that the NFL is making billions of dollars hand over fist forever from gambling. Let's set aside the fact that I guarantee you players have gambled on the NFL forever. And now it's just easier to catch them because if they use these apps, you can kind of track it down a little bit here. I think the NFL is, and they always have been, but just another example of massive hypocrisy from the NFL. I'll let you say your thing here. You can still punish players and hold them accountable for if they actually hurt the integrity of the game. But gambling on a sport, in my opinion, not your team, does not hurt the integrity of the game. This is the NFL trying to virtue signal and trying to draw a line that doesn't exist between all the billions of dollars they're getting from these sports gambling companies and the players who are human beings who want to gamble on things. Just like the players, just like Patrick Mahomes needs to do the Coors Light actual flashlight commercial instead of saying he drinks Coors Light.
Right.
And he has to do the Coors Bear instead of saying he drinks Coors Beer because, God forbid, he actually endorses, drinking those things because Coors Light's amazing. He has to dance around it. So the NFL, like a million different things, another example of we'll take all your money for things that we won't let our players participate in or make money off of.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there.
Yep.
First, before I get into like full rebuttal mode, I'm curious as to like when, like say in the 80s, right? Before there's apps or anything, or like, I guess they advertised with the NFL, but was that the only way that the NFL made money off of gambling? Was through advertisement?
Well, it wouldn't be advertisement because it wasn't legal. It was just, obviously the NFL is popular because of gambling. I mean, that's why they released
so it's not like a direct, like, here's a check. Until now,
it was a wink of like,
oh,
here's our injury report, and we have to put it out by this date, and we have to be very specific what happens and tell you how long these guys are gone.
So it's one of those, we'll scratch your back, you scratch ours.
When it was illegal, the NFL was bending over backwards to make sure those who were spending illegal dollars on the games were able to do it.
Oh, I mean, yes, there was illegal betting everywhere. But obviously, behind the guise of doing this for like Atlantic City and Vegas, right?
I mean, they would.
That's what it was behind.
That's the only reason they had that exist.
Perfect. Okay,
Yes.
so now here's the thing: is I don't think these guys should be getting this crazy of a suspension, like 100%. I don't know all the details. I don't really want to make it a dollar amount. But what I do want to point out, and correct me if you don't agree, but I think what the NFL is trying to do is just draw a line in the sand. Like, I think this is way too aggressive and way too, like, far on one side of that fence, so to speak. But they're trying, it's very easy to say, just no gambling. That way, there is no loopholes, there's no gray areas, there's a right or wrong. No gambling for players for the integrity of the game. And I know there's hypocrisy there and everything like that, but, like, we can all understand when there's a rule at your place of work, potential, like, you're supposed to follow.
I don't want to conflate those two things because we did this last time. Yes, you have to follow the rule your work sets. Absolutely. What I'm saying is it is hypocritical for the NFL to set these rules. That's what I'm saying.
Well, how does this rule get set? How does the NFL protect the integrity of their game if they can't set a rule on gambling?
Lifetime ban if anyone is at all caught betting on their own team or influence the outcome of a game. I don't care if you're an official, if you're a ball boy or whatever. If you are in the NFL and you are caught betting on your team's game or your team or you are caught influencing it, it is a lifetime ban. I would say it is the totally death penalty if you're caught doing it, but up until then, that's the line in the sand you draw.
But are you telling me that you have total confidence and trust that, because we know how good of friends players across the NFL are. We've talked with Chris Orr, he's got friends on other teams, right? Yep. Like, I'm not necessarily saying one guy's going to take a dive for his buddy, but, like, there's going to be a lot of, like, weird situations out there in the world where maybe your best friend scored a touchdown, put him on the over, and you bet the under, and then there's animosity. Or, like, there's going to be weird things that this is
wherever you draw the line, there's going to be weird things.
But that's what I'm saying. Just draw, like, the NFL is like, hey, if we just draw the line at no gambling, there's no weird things. If they gamble, we slap them on the wrist. I mean,
just not a slap on the wrist
is what they should get. And like I said, I agree that this is too strong. But, like, I don't necessarily. The players' agreement, there should be a collective bargaining thing in there. They should have tried to make some sort of agreement with gambling where they get some of that revenue so the players don't feel the need to gamble on. And again, if football players want to gamble on basketball, that to me is fine. But if you play football, you shouldn't be able to gamble on football. And that's the line the NFL is drawing. I don't hate it. Well, they should get punished, but they shouldn't get punished a year or more for betting a couple $100 on a football game that they, in theory, have no influence on.
See, and I'm more of the theory, and this is what we're going to ask 844-770-3776. Is the NFL being hypocritical by penalizing players for gambling? 844-770-3776, including gambling on the NFL. I have a problem if you gamble on your own team. Because here's what I can guarantee has happened over the history of time. NFL players have gambled on the NFL. I promise you that. But they gambled with a bookie. And that bookie has their own personal don't want to go to jail reasons not to turn these people in. I guarantee you, gambling has happened in the NFL forever. But now the NFL is taking money publicly. They were making money, obviously, with the popularity of the game by giving you all the things that all the gamblers wanted and setting line and all these sorts of things. Mm-hmm. The NFL was fine with all of that. And now the NFL is getting money, so now all of a sudden they're Pollyanna, we got to have the integrity of the game here. I promise you this was all happening beforehand. Now it's just easier to track. Now I will share this. The sixth, and I do not, and again, 844-770-3776, is the NFL being hypocritical for banning players for gambling or suspending players for gambling. I do not want to get into the rules and you break them. That's a different conversation. That is a dumb conversation I don't want to have right now because, of course, the rules are set. You break them, you have to deal with the consequences. That's not, I don't want the argument, I don't want those two things conflated. I'm saying this rule should be different. But here are the 6 key rules of the gambling policy in the NFL. Don't bet on the NFL. Don't gamble at your team facility while traveling for a road game or staying at a team hotel. So that one's weird to me, like you couldn't gamble on an NBA game being in the facility. That's a little, these are arbitrary.
Or at the team hotel. That seems a little silly
These are
too.
Arbitrary. Don't have someone bet for you. So to your point, like they already tried to write that in there. And Matt, I will say to your point of if players were colluding with each other to do things on other teams, whatever, again.
Or even with anybody.
But every one of those players, if you're caught, it is a lifetime ban.
Right.
Like that's to me the easiest way to make this thing. That if you are caught, affecting the outcome of a game, lifetime ban. If you're caught betting on your team, lifetime ban. I'm not saying don't punish the players. I'm saying allow them, give them some sort of ownership of their destiny. What you're telling these players
is
that...
It's so hard to say just don't bet on the NFL? Let them bet on the NBA. Go bet on MLB. Go bet on cricket if you want to. But this is their expertise. This is your sport. This is your profession.
Can you bet on gambling? I mean, can you bet on curling?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure I could probably bet on, a women's game, but I couldn't bet on, if I'm at the World Championships and the game going on right next to me is Canada versus Denmark, I can't bet on that game.
Okay, but you're all in the same place. So let's say let's say in the future when you retire, let's say you're competing, but you're not. Maybe you're going to go for the Olympics next time. So let's say you're not in the Olympics,
okay,
but you're still technically competing.
Right?
Can you bet on the Olympics?
Yes,
curling,
because I wouldn't be there. Yes.
So again, but that would be like if the Bears are always out of the playoffs, so Justin Fields could bet on NFL playoff game.
I'm just saying it's an easy line to draw. That is very easy to say someone violated the rule or someone didn't.
Right, but I'm just saying the line is too high.
When you say that sometimes you can bet on football, but sometimes you can't, that you're introducing gray opportunities.
You cannot bet on your team. And if you're caught betting on your team, whether you caught winning or losing, if you're caught betting on your team, you're suspended forever. If you're caught...
Yeah, but a lot of times people aren't caught the first time they do it. It's once it's a systemic problem when people get caught.
Right, but Matt, they don't catch these people the first time they place this bet. The same thing applies. Everything you're saying applies. I'm talking about moving the line further back. Here are the other rules. Don't share team inside information. Don't enter a sports book during NFL playing season. And don't play daily fantasy football. So some of these very much are about the image of the NFL, which again screams to me we are massive hypocrites because we will take your money. We will make money hand over fist from all these gambling institutions. But, oh, by the way, we can't have one of our players seen enter in any of these gambling institutions.
The thing that I think would be the fairest, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of them, those that are booty. If a guy on his day off wants to go to a sports book and bet on basketball or whatever sport's going on at the same time as NFL, they should be allowed to do that. So, again, I'm not saying all these rules are okay, but in the future, I like this line of no betting on NFL will include you. The NFLPA gets a share of money from DraftKings or whatever. Include that in your collective bargaining agreement. If they're going to take a potential revenue stream away from you or something you like to do, they should at least compensate you for it. So that's something that needs to be argued at their next bartering agreement. But I don't think the NFL is necessarily wrong for wanting to lay a clear, defined line in the sand, what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do.
And Matt,
this punishment is this is so excessive because they're trying to put the fear in everybody that if you do this, you will get caught and you will lose an entire year.
Matt, we're very similar here. I'm agreeing with you they need to draw a line in the sand. I just think where this line is drawn now is ridiculous because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure. You are setting yourself up for failure. There's going to be a handful of players right now that are going to be suspended for a season. You are setting yourself up for failure. The same league that is going to make billions of dollars off gambling is going to cost an individual player, which the NFL clearly does not give a crap about. They view them all as interchangeable. Those players are going to get suspended and lose millions of dollars for gambling on the NFL. And again, I'm not making this about the rules and breaking the rules. I understand that, and I'm not saying these players shouldn't face punishment for breaking the rules. I'm saying the rules are heavy-handed and hypocritical, and I think if you drew a hard line in the sand of basically it's like the death penalty, and it's
I get it, and I think that's too lenient. I don't think that you should be able as an NFL player to bet on any game any Sunday. If you're an NFL player, you shouldn't be able to bet on NFL games. That's kind of my thought because I do worry about the integrity of the game.
But all those things, Matt, those still exist. You're pretending like people don't smoke weed if it's not legal. If weed's illegal, people don't smoke weed.
So you're telling me that even though if that was the new rule, they're like, hey, you know what? Gambling is fine. DraftKings is okay as long as it's not NFL. You can do whatever you want in the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, whatever. But if we're going to hold the rules accountable for the NFL, and you're saying that these players are still going to go ahead and bet then. Anyway, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, like they obviously still are.
Yes, but then they will be punished. Like I just think, and who knows about integrity of the game? It's one of those things that you're not going to find out the issue until it starts to happen. But I think it's always easier to give a little more leniency than it is to take more away.
This isn't lenient. You're taking a whole year out of someone's life for betting on the NFL.
I'm not saying the punishment is lenient. I'm saying they're going super strict on the rule because over time, if they want to be like, okay, you know what, you can bet on other football games, let's say not on the same day you play. So if you play on Sunday, you can bet on the Monday night or the Thursday night game. Or if you play on Thursday, you can bet on Sunday or Monday night games. But that's their new rule. It's always easier to give people more leash than it is to take it away because there's going to be way more backlash when you take it away. So I don't think they could jump all the way to you just can't bet on your own team because if there are issues and they pull back, that's when everyone's going to freak out.
The issue I have is that as gambling becomes more and more legal throughout, I don't love institutions and leagues drawing lines of things that are legal for everyone else to do and not legal for you to do. Now, if you, for an example here, to my rule, if you affect the integrity of the game, that could be fraud. Fraud or working with other gamblers to then, change the score of a game, like Tim Donahue went to prison for that. Like, that is illegal. So that's why I'm saying that draw the line at illegal. They have the same problem with weed because where are they drawing the lines with this? In some states you can do it, some you can't. The NFL is a living, breathing hypocrisy, and I think they can make it a little better if they at least make the line not to cross very clear and very steep if you do cross it, but give people and give the players the opportunity to be regular folks. And I'm sorry, if Jordan Love wants to bet on a Miami Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills game, I don't really care. Rutledge is an idiot guy. 8 chimes in. This is so typical of the No Fun League. Do as I say, not as I do. We'll continue this conversation. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse is the official barbecue and seafood and smokehouse of Rutledge and Hamilton. Make sure to listen every Wednesday for your chance to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse in Madison, Verona, and DeForest. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
At Progressive, we know how much you love your recreational vehicles, so we decided to record this commercial in an RV.
With a family on vacation.
Mom, who are these people?
Oh, that's Flo and Jamie. They're recording a commercial, sweetie.
Don't they do that in the studio?
Normally.
No.
But we wanted to feature a family who bundled their home and RV and saved with Progressive.
Yeah, it looks like you're all out of chips.
Okay, I think we'll just drop you off at the next gas station.
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Delivery's at the door. Can someone please unlock?
It's been an eventful afternoon with a spike in bookings at Claudia's event space.
We'd love to host Mermaid Fest.
She was already planning on having more event planners on hand.
500? That's a lot of tails.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Former NFL player and Rose Bowl champion Tarek Saleh here for Carbon World Health. Carbon is much more than just another gym. They offer the best recovery in the area. Some of my favorites include red light therapy and cryotherapy. Improve your athletic performance, fitness and training results, speed up muscle recovery, and reduce pain, and boost your mood with these simple and non-invasive treatments. Visit Carbon World Health today and ask for the ESPN Recovery Package. That's Carbon World Health.
Put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio.
A walk-off homer in the bottom of the 14th inning. What a night.
From opening day.
Hammer to left field. See you later. Mike Trout, how's that to start the season?
Until a champion is crowned at the World Series.
The Houston Astros have won the World Series.
Major League Baseball is on ESPN Radio. You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Medicine.
In the darkness, when the stars realign, we are gonna let it shine. I'm waiting for the night to come. I'm waiting for the tide to pull me.
Our Iron Chalk poll question: is the NFL being hypocritical by suspending/banning players for gambling? Right now, 67% of you say yes. We have Troy and Madison chiming in, which I think kind of proves maybe both our points here. Just have someone else place the bet for you. Geez, it's not that hard. Troy, I agree with you. We're not arguing, though, about the idea of the players and the breaking the rule and should they get the penalty.
Rule number 3, don't have someone bet for you.
Right. And that is, again,
like
in the rule.
Happens, they could still fall in the same trouble they're in right now.
And we're arguing here, is the NFL being hypocritical? I say yes, they're making billions of dollars off these gambling institutions. And Matt, let me ask you this as we run through this here. So they are suspending players, the players who are getting suspended right now, they've been suspended for different reasons. So I want you to tell me which one of these rules do they feel hypocritical, yes or no. So we're going to go, I want you to call in 844-770-3776. Is the NFL being hypocritical by banning/suspending players for gambling on the NFL? But Matt, I want to ask you if you think any of these rules. We'll just play a game of, you know what? Let's play Tinder time. Let's play Tinder time. Matt, you swipe right if you agree with the rule. Swipe left if you disagree with the rule.
Okay.
844-770-3776.
If you like it, swipe right. If you dislike it, swipe left. It's Tinder time.
All right, Matt Hamilton. I'm going to work my way up the list because I think I know how you'll answer for number 1. So, number 6, don't play daily fantasy football. Are you swiping right? You like that rule, or left? That rule can go.
So I like that they specify daily. I think it's really fun that their NFL players might want to play fantasy football, especially amongst each other or however. But the daily one, I think you're going to have potentially more knowledge than other people because your friends are literally people you could pick and bet on. You might know if your friend's got a stuffy nose or not, but the injury report's not coming out with that. There is potentially insider stuff. I would say I agree you cannot play daily fantasy football.
I would say I'm swiping left on that because, again, this isn't about insider information. This is about the optics for the NFL and their marketing, and they don't want it to look like a player could affect the game. The player does not have an effect on the game for daily fantasy football. Alex Strouf.
Yes, they do. So, no, I'm with Matt on this one.
They're going to try extra hard?
Well, but they could know something about a player.
But again, Matt, everyone knows something about Elvis. Like that is a dumb argument. Sorry, but
I don't think it's a dumb argument if your best friend is the number 3 back in the NFL, and you know for sure he's not feeling great today.
Okay,
he's not feeling super good. So I'm not going to pick him. That's inside info.
That's not why they're banning these things. It's not inside info. There are people whose lives make millions of dollars gambling because they have inside info. Are they not allowed to place bets because they have inside info? Because
not when your job is playing football.
Your job. So let's say Aaron Rodgers knows that Garrett Mitchell, or who's the wide receiver? Garrett Wilson. He knows that Garrett Wilson out there has a hangnail. So he tells his buddy who's a bookie, and now that guy makes millions of dollars and gives money to Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is in trouble.
But my
That's
point
wrong.
is that doesn't affect
That's how you influence the game.
But again, daily
and the game, not necessarily football. But the game of daily fantasy.
No, you guys are both wrong.
No,
so that's
okay,
fine.
you can tell us we're wrong.
Yeah, I will.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Okay, whatever.
Because these rules don't exist.
Just because people disagree, you can't just tell them they're wrong. You do that every single time we disagree with somebody.
Right, I know, because you're wrong. You're both wrong, and it's fine.
You're
out of left field
objectively,
factually wrong because these rules don't exist.
Objectively, right.
Yes, these rules do not exist because of insider information.
Oh, so if you're so right, why do they exist?
Because the optics and marketing of the NFL. They don't want a player tweeting about, I just made $10,000 on daily fantasy football because that would look bad for the NFL optics. Not
Derrick
because
Henry
of inside,
texted me today, and
not
I bet my house on Derrick Henry because he said he was going to have a good game.
Not inside information.
Because the backup running back actually had a hammy, but they just didn't put him on the injury report.
The inside information, but the inside information exists in the NFL already. That's already part of gambling. That's already disseminated everywhere.
It's a different level when you're friends. It's a different thing.
Okay, so
if a player chooses to tell a bookie something,
in this inane theory, it's this inane wrong theory, the most ridiculous theory I've ever heard, that if like Steph Curry and Patrick Mahomes are friends, and Patrick Mahomes finds out information and then tells Steph Curry, oh, by the way, like maybe I'm not feeling great.
Maybe I'd fade me in fantasy football, or fantasy basketball. Yeah, I think that would be kind of wrong.
But that exists already. Like, that could happen right now. That could happen right now.
It could, and I think it would be wrong of Steph Curry to do that. And it would be wrong of whoever to do it.
My exact point, that the inside information already exists. So this rule does not exist to ban inside information. It exists for the marketing of the NFL. That is my point.
No, it's so football players try not to do
that
it.
already. They already do it. So you're proving my point.
Show me some proof. Give me some proof of an NFL player already doing it then.
So, Pollyanna, you believe that players do not give information to other people. That's what I'm asking you.
I want proof that they do, Jim. I don't need to prove to you that they don't. You're telling me beyond a reason of a doubt they do. Show me. Give me something.
How about the players who've been suspended already?
Let's go! The players that have been suspended have been gambling on the game.
No, they would be suspended for any one of these rules. Which would be telling your friend about inside information. They already have a rule. Don't share.
What does it say they were suspended for?
Proving my point, they already have a rule that says don't share inside information. So why would the inside information also apply to daily fantasy football?
You just said that players do it. What do you mean proving your point?
It proves my point that
it proves your point that there's a rule against it.
Right. But my point is this specific rule, don't play fantasy football, is not in place because of insider information. How do you not see that proves my rule? They have a different rule already in place that says do not share fantasy information.
Okay, move on to the next. We don't agree, just move on to the next
I want to make sure I'm setting this clear. That rule number 6, don't play fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Do not play daily fantasy football does not exist because of insider information, and that is proven because it says there's a different rule that says do not share insider information. So rule number 6.
They had to double down.
No, they didn't.
It's completely telling you you're wrong. I don't know how you're saying this means I'm right.
No.
They have rules against exactly what I'm saying already happens.
Right. No, it proves I'm right.
This is another form of gambling that they're saying you can't use.
It proves I'm right. The two of you are purposely being obtuse for the bit here.
No,
but
we're not. This is not a bit, Jim.
This is 0% a bit.
This is zero. I think you're wrong.
No, well, you are wrong. Like, it's factually accurate that you are both 100% wrong on this. Do not play fantasy football is a rule that exists for marketing purposes. They do not want players to be able to make money off playing daily fantasy football, and they do not want people to be endorsed off daily fantasy football. Why would they need to double down on the same rule? One rule, it already states it. You don't need to write it twice. You're not going to get in there's not double jeopardy on it.
It's another form of gambling, Jim. That's the point of it. It's because
this
is an app.
Matt, I will agree with you on that. I'm saying your theory about the inside information is asinine, not the idea that this rule is another form of gambling.
No,
I will give you that.
This is a loophole for the same issue.
Why? There's what loophole where it says number 4, do not share inside information? Why would they have to write that rule twice?
Because the loophole is you've got a totally different forum for gambling in a daily fantasy football app. That is the reason they did it. They didn't have this 15 years ago because there was no daily football. But they had to add it because they brought a new element that created a loophole.
But do you hear what you're saying? You started this argument by saying.
No, I hear what I'm saying. They are absolutely doubling down. No,
they do not have to double down.
Yes, because it's a new platform for gambling.
Why would they have to double down on? It clearly says right here, do not share team inside information.
But it happens all the time.
But wait.
That's not betting or on teams.
Stop.
This is a different form of gambling.
But
I'm not going to stop
for a second.
because you just sit and yell over me when you want to say something. So I'm telling you right now, this is a different form. This was a loophole. This is a legal loophole. They threw this in so players couldn't give out inside information and bet on fantasy football.
But it doesn't say. But Matt, you're wrong. 100% wrong. Now, will you let me finish this time?
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Matt, you're wrong.
I know, I've heard.
Well, you are, and I'm sorry. I'm just telling you that you're wrong.
Finish away. Let me hear.
All right. When it clearly says, do not share team inside information, that is unequivocally, do not share inside information. If you want to tell me, don't play fantasy football because it's another form of gambling and that's why you think it's a good rule, that's fine. I will agree with you. But do not tell me that it is another way to say don't share inside information. There is no gray area to rule number 4 that needs to be doubled down on. It says do not share inside information. So if you want to tell me that don't play daily fantasy football exists because it's another form of gambling, fine. If you want to tell me it exists because they don't want you to share team inside information, I will call you 100% wrong on it because rule number 4 already says don't share inside information. Do you get what I'm saying now?
I understand what you're saying, and I don't think there's any reason that you shouldn't be able to double down on a rule, especially
when... But they're not
doing
that. Your other point is valid.
Yeah,
they don't
want them to gamble on that as well. But again, I think the whole idea is they're worried about the game not being fair for all, and that inside information is what changes the fairness. And with the new platform, they needed to cover.
Twice?
They just had to cover their butt.
They don't. It says right there, do not share information. Where's the gray area? Where is the gray area in the sentence, do not share team information, that they need to double down on it? Tell me where the gray area is on that.
Okay, the gray area was, there was probably 5 rules prior to daily fantasy football being a thing.
No, because this was just written this last year. So no. Alrighty, start over.
So you're saying there was no rule about don't share insider information?
There's always been that rule.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm saying. Yes, I agree. But when you add another form of gambling like this, which is a much more inane form because you can go player to player. It's not teams. It's legal in a lot more places. They were just covering their butts.
No,
because they're
Matt,
saving.
You're right the second time. Just let it go. You are right when you say it is another form of gambling and they don't want it. That is right. That is 100% right. That is the correct answer.
If that is your concession, I'll accept it. Let's move along to number 5.
Alrighty. So I was right. Thank you. Do not enter a sportsbook during the NFL playing season. Yes, I was correct. Thank you. Do not enter a sportsbook during the NFL playing season. Swipe right if you think that's fair. Swipe left if you think it's wrong.
Swipe left.
Left.
You should be able to go wherever you want. Don't place a bet. If your buddy is there and your buddy is gambling and you want to sit and watch the game with him in the sportsbook, I have no problem with that.
Can they place a bet on other sports?
I personally think that they should be able to. I mean, I don't know.
I'm asking you personally.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope. I said
don't
earlier
say slippery
today.
Slope. It's the worst thing ever.
It is.
It's the worst argument.
Wrong. How is it? What do you mean? How is it
Everything's
a bad
slippery
argument?
slope. Why should we do anything? Because we all could just slip down and do oblivion.
Hey, Matt, anything that comes out of your mouth is the worst argument ever, according to Jim.
But wait,
today.
we all can agree. Like, Alex, just as a rule, the slippery slope argument is the worst argument out there. Because everything is a slippery slope. We could slide down to oblivion.
For sure. You could make the case everywhere, but I do think it applies here.
The reason it applies is I was talking about sharing insider information. That's my big issue with gambling, right?
Okay.
That's my main problem.
It's already addressed.
Obviously, these players are all friends across the board, so I don't know. It's tough because there's nothing that's keeping me from texting my buddy saying, hey, how you feeling
There's
today?
nothing from keeping you doing that now.
You're right.
Rule?
Oh, the rule exists. We already know that rule already exists in the NFL.
Right.
So do we believe as a show, just separately?
You've continued to say it happens all the time.
Wait, do you believe it doesn't happen?
No, I don't.
I'm sure
I
it
believe it
happens on
happens.
some level.
Even if they don't share the information, I know things about players. I don't gamble. I know things about players. They're not sharing it to me as a gambling hint. You just know things about players. And I know things about teams. NFL reporters. Should this apply to them?
It does. They can't gamble. Jason Wilde can't gamble.
Or what?
Or he
the
get his
NFL,
credential
what?
revoked.
Okay, but I'm saying let's say, so if Jason Wilde, let's say you're talking to Jason Wilde and you glean some information from him. So who's getting in trouble?
Probably Jason, right? Don't
Nobody.
give team
But
inside
he's
information.
not an employee of the team.
So my point is, so again, inside information was just relayed to you, right?
Well, the issue
Okay,
there
then
is,
then Jason Wilde's immoral if he does that, and he's just
Immoral? Really?
Oh, that's
at that
Right, calm
point,
down.
right?
Calm down.
No, I'm not saying
the
he
NFL
is,
is
but
making
you're saying
billions of dollars off of this. What's immoral about it?
they're giving everybody an opportunity to make money
So
off
Matt,
it as well. It's
when
gambling.
you gamble, you're not trying. If you paid a service, you're
Yes.
paying them because you assume they have inside information, correct?
I mean, if I'm paying a service for gambling, yeah, but
Okay, thank you. So are you immoral? Are people who pay gambling services immoral then?
I mean, they're people that are they're normal people that can't call Steph Curry and ask if his toe hurts today. Or they can't call Tua and say, how many fingers am I holding up?
In what world do you live, Matt, in what world do you live that people aren't trying to gather inside information for their personal advantage in every single thing they're doing in their life?
So if you allow football players to do it, why don't you think they would try and do it as well? That's why they're saying you can't gamble.
There's rules against it everywhere.
How did it get made this difficult?
It's not. You guys are just wrong. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors.
Away.
Rutledge is an idiot.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Vote at channel3000.com. People really like this show.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. Heck, I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Cedar Ridge Distillery continues to make a home right here in Wisconsin. The original 86 bourbon is the best-selling bourbon in Iowa for 3 straight years, and you have the opportunity to get that here in Wisconsin. Also, the quintessential, the best American single malt, voted by John Barleycorn Awards, and Cedar Ridge manages every step of the production from grain to glass. Make sure you pick up the Scalzo and Bruss private barrel of bourbon and rye whiskeys, available at Discount Liquor at 51st in Oklahoma or Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business, providing a professional yet casual work environment in Stoughton, Evansville, and Broadhead. If you're looking for your hard work to be rewarded with competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is the spot for you. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Green Bay has the longest odds to win the NFC North. And once upon a time, they demonstrated that you get a quarterback in, learn from a legendary player. They have an offensive coach who I think knows what he's doing. Unless they just missed so badly that it's unimaginable, I think Green Bay has a real shot to be in this thing all the way through the season.
Greeny, weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Matt Hamilton, so mad, so worked up about being wrong, screamed so loud last segment he broke his microphone. Had to move. So if you're tuning in on the at Jim and Matt app, Matt is not gone. He's had to switch locations, and we'll figure out the cameras later. There he is. Now he's in the camera. You can see at Jim and Matt on YouTube. Matt, so worked up, has screamed into the microphone and broken it. Good job, Matt. People say I'm the loud one on the show. I've never broken a microphone.
Well, you know what? You just got to get good, Jim. Sometimes when you're as good as I am, the mic just can't take all the heat. And
Text line.
Situation.
Text line, lighten up.
844-770-3776. Rutledge and Hamilton live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Rutledge and Hamilton along with Alex Strofe with you.
All right, here we go. 608 chimes in. Y'all argue like middle-aged women at the grocery store.
I didn't think we're that high-pitched.
Yeah.
Ryan and Madison. Matt's opinions are wrong. Jim's opinions are facts. I think Jim's optics are looking bad at this point. Tim in Oregon just says, Matt, good work. Jesse in Madison says, Matt won because he yelled the loudest.
There you go, Matt. Again, I don't know about the optics. I'm just sharing facts. I don't believe the NFL feels like they need to write things down 4 times to prove their point. So, again, if you're just tuning in, Matt and I...
No, the reason they wrote it down once in the first place is because it was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And they clearly felt that it needed to be...
No. No.
Otherwise, why would they include it, Jim? Why would they throw anything about daily fantasy football?
Your second point is correct, Matt. They're saying...
But what's wrong with it if it's not betting on your team? To your point, what's the issue then?
Because, to your point, it is a very specific type of gambling they want to be very clear that you cannot do. That is why they did it. Because it is different than even saying do not bet.
So you're saying just because it's another form of gambling. Now, the whole rules behind gambling are not because to keep the integrity of the game. It's just because they don't want them to gamble and because of optics. That's
my stance.
That's your
stance is because, again, my stance is this, that the integrity of the game is just as much, and I don't think it is very much in question, but it's the same idea. Write a law. People smoke pot even though there's laws against it. So laws and rules against things doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Wait, let me finish, though. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So my point is the integrity of the game argument for this is inane. Now, does the NFL need to share, do they need to write these things out specifically? One time, yes, because it is a law, it is a rule, so it needs to be written out. So if they're sued or the NFLPA pushes back against them, they have very clear written ways to say you can and can't do this. NFL... None of these rules truly protect the integrity of the game. Because if you were caught gambling 5 years ago by sharing inside information on any of those things, you would still be suspended and get in trouble. These rules are in place to protect the marketing of the game. They don't want players, look, it's proven right here. Don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season. That is for the marketing of the game. They don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in a sports book during the NFL season, no matter what he's gambling on. Don't play daily fantasy football because that's easier than writing saying, don't tweet about it. Don't brag about your wins. It's easier just to say, don't play daily fantasy football. So, one, you can't endorse those companies so the NFL can keep all that money, just like they do with beer. And then, oh, by the way, don't play it because if you win, we don't trust that you wouldn't brag about it. And if people brag about winning $10,000, $30,000, $40,000 and playing daily fantasy football, people are going to intuitively assume that it was nefarious because they always assume that things in the NFL are nefarious.
The thing about it is the whole game is about optics. So if all your fans think it's nefarious, even if the players are gambling on the up and up, you're going to suffer as an organization.
That I agree with. We're not disagreeing on that. No, I said this is all marketing.
Agree,
that's why they're hypocritical.
What I'm saying, Jim, is that they are doing it. It might be marketing, but regardless of what happens, they're going to lose at the end if they let the players bet and gamble.
Okay,
because
that's a different...
The optics from the outside are terrible.
Well, and that's a different argument. Now, we started this by arguments...
Well, how about this? I had something else. My actual argument is if we go as far as your rule, which is up until the point where you're betting on your own team...
My rule is don't bet on your own team and do not... And if you are caught like obviously affecting the outcome of games, so which would be sharing inside information. So if you were caught doing things that would affect the integrity of the game or betting on your own team, which I think would affect the integrity of the game, you are suspended. You are banned. You're done. So it is a one and done death penalty rule.
So the proving of sharing team information, that to me gets really sticky because in a conversation, if me and you go behind the building and have a conversation, how do you prove something like that? So like,
but that's forever.
No,
like,
but what I'm asking
10 years
is,
ago that could have
do you
happened.
think with this gambling, with this being opened up a little bit, do you think the integrity is affected at all?
No.
Because
No.
I do think if it's legal, there might be people who aren't doing it because it's not allowed and they are afraid of the punishment. But if it becomes allowed, then, like you say, it's human nature to be like, how do I get a competitive advantage? That's what every team does. That's what every person does when they gamble. That's what you do when you compete. So to say that moving the rules forward to what you're saying wouldn't affect the integrity of the game, it might not, but it would be disingenuous to say without a doubt it would.
Look,
it wouldn't.
There's plenty of company policies that are written into businesses that only exist on paper if they want to punish someone. They don't actually regularly enforce these.
Yeah.
They exist so they can fire you. These are company policies that exist so they can fine you and they can look good. So if they want to get rid of you, they can. Because here's the other thing. Do you really think?
Because if they allow it, they look really bad, and then that's bad for their brand.
So you think, and I guess I disagree on this, you think it looks bad if, let's say, Aaron Rodgers bets on the San Francisco 49ers versus Seattle Seahawks game, and he has a bye week.
Okay, no. Not necessarily on a one-off. But if you've got a couple players that are week in and week out posting about their wins and stuff, and regardless if they did it completely on the up and up,
you hit it right there.
The optics would look really bad. And people, regardless of whether it's real or not, and they bet legit or they got insider information, people aren't going to like the look.
Right.
That's some booty, Jim.
I agree with you, Matt. That's my whole point, that this integrity of the game and inside information is all crap because that could have been an issue regardless already. Like, these rules don't really stop. The majority, again, I'll just use weed as an example. The majority of people that would smoke weed aren't, like, there's not people in droves running out to places like down to Illinois to buy weed and smoke it if they didn't normally want to have the inkling to do it anyways. Because in theory, if you went down to Illinois and you bring it back to Wisconsin, you're already breaking the rules. But my point is, it doesn't push you to the point. It doesn't push you past. A small, yes.
Yeah, there's people that aren't going to do something, but would if it was legal.
But a very small percentage. An incredibly small percentage. Most people, if you're not going to gamble, 844-770-3776, I'll ask you this. Would you gamble in the state of Wisconsin if it's legal? Is that what's stopping most people from gambling? Is that what stopped people from smoking weed?
That's probably why I don't place more bets. Like, I like to gamble.
Is it because it's easier? Like,
yeah,
it's harder to find.
Convenience thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like the fact
but that's
that
it's not a legal, illegal thing. It's a convenience thing.
Well, I mean, I depend. If there was a bunch of people around me getting suspended a year for gambling,
that's not what I'm asking.
Well, here's the thing: is depending on like the penalty. Yeah, you might not take that risk. If I'm suspended for a year, I probably don't take that risk.
Daryl in Deerfield chimes in, players need to understand that these are the rules, blah, blah. I understand that, Daryl, and I don't mean to blah, 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 but that's not the argument here. The rule exists. These players get suspended. We're allowing for all that.
We all agree that they
the rules
definitely broke a rule. Whether the rule is right or wrong, that's what we're debating.
So, but back to the gambling thing. Like, I would imagine that if you had the inkling to gambling, it is...
Which I do.
Right. But it's legal. The part of making it legal just makes it maybe you feel more comfortable about not the act of gambling, but who you're gambling with.
That helps a lot too.
But again, that doesn't make you're not more likely to gamble because it's legal. You're more likely to gamble because you're trusting who you're gambling with.
Well, that
so your
and
real problem
the ease of access.
So your real problem was you don't have a trusted bookie, because if you had a trusted bookie, you have plenty of ease of access. 844-770-3776. Caller number 5 and 8. 844-770-3776. Call number 5 and 8. You're entered to win a $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. You play a minute to win it. If you pick the right person, probably me, you'll get that $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Caller number 5 and caller number 8. 844-770-3776. Caller number 5 and 8. You're both entered to win that $50 gift card to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. We'll play a minute to win it next.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. After some flipped commitments and losing out on the state's top 5 prospects in the class of 2024, the reaction to Wisconsin football's recruiting continues. Former Badgers linebacker Chris Orr was on Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison earlier this week and said there's no reason to fret.
I think every program anywhere wants to lock down their state. You know, it sounds great on paper, but at the end of the day, you want to get the best 25 in. I don't think there's a need to panic. I don't know where the panic is coming from because, honestly, you just want people that fit the culture.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. North and South served authentic wood-fired barbecue as well as savory seafood for both lunch and dinner. Whether it's North and South in DeForest, Verona, or the west side of Madison, you'll enjoy the best smart casual dining experience in the area. They also have takeout and catering options, so find your way over to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue place of Rutledge and Hamilton. They're online at eatnorthandsouth.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Iron Jock. Believe it or not, being an Olympic curler takes a lot of practice time on the ice. And despite always being cool, I still work up a sweat. That's why I love Iron Jock and their no-state technology. Silver Iron technology is the how behind why it works, and that is about as technical as I can get with it. What I do know is that if I'm on the ice or just wanting to look good, I know Iron Jock has t-shirts, polos, and hoodies for me. Support this Wisconsin-based company today and get gear at ironjoc.com. That's ironjoc.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Here she go, either a little too high or a little too low. Got no self-esteem and vertigo, 'cause she thinks she's made of candy.
North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, the official barbecue joint of Rutledge and Hamilton. Keith and Aaron brought their dreams. They were up in Alaska. They were down in Texas. They brought that unique menu to Madison, Wisconsin. They've now expanded to, obviously, they still have the Madison location, Verona, and DeForest. You can have them cater. You can dine in. You can carry out. If you dine in, it's a great family-friendly experience. It's going to give you great, authentic barbecue or seafood. Go to North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, Madison, Verona, or DeForest. And right now, we're going to give away a $50 gift card to someone for Minute to Win It.
Are you on Team Rutledge or Team Hamilton?
I don't want to pick sides.
This is the Minute to Win It, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse, with 3 locations in Madison, DeForest, and Verona.
All righty, another Minute to Win It. Caller 5 was Derek. He's on your team, Jim. Caller 8 is Randy in Oshkosh. He's on Team Hamilton. Weird topic today.
Okay.
Not that weird, but difficult, I would say.
Okay.
We're going to once again implement that rule, by the way. If you get 11, 12, or 13 on this list, no strike, no points.
Okay.
I'm looking for the smallest U.S. Top 10 smallest U.S. states. There we go. I got there.
Okay.
By population.
By
So the
population.
10 smallest U.S. states ranked by population. I don't know how I stumbled into this today, but we're going to do it. It makes sense?
Yep.
All right. Time starts in 3, 2, 1.
I'll go North Dakota.
North Dakota's number 4.
South Dakota.
South Dakota's number 5.
Wyoming.
Wyoming is number 1, actually.
There you go. Idaho.
Idaho, not on the list.
Wow. Alrighty. What about, let's go New Mexico.
That is strike 2.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island's number 7.
Okay, so I think I've exhausted all the places out west. The Dakotas, California, no way. Nevada, I can't imagine that being on the list. Somewhere else. I'll go with Maine.
Maine's a good guess. It's number 9.
All right, so now, see, I'm trying to dance around the smaller East Coast. There's no way with major cities. I'll save that one for later.
Got about 20 seconds.
All right, Maine, Rhode Island, Virginia. I feel like I'm missing someone up there. I'll go with Mass.
Massachusetts?
Yeah.
That is strike 3.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Boston.
Yeah, I figured Boston would do it, but I didn't know if
You
it was
missed
really...
a couple up there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know. I'm having
There's
a hard
just
time.
so many, I think.
I'm having a hard time differentiate them all up there. So we'll bring in Matt Hamilton. Geography is not my strong suit, but I felt good. I had seen something. It was actually like, I forgot if it was during the pandemic or something, where I was like, hey, if you group together all these like Western states, like they don't even come close to like half the population of like the city of New York. So it was just like,
that adds up.
So that's where it was more of one of those things where Matt Hamilton fully not paying attention here. He's out there talking to Alex G, bouncing his ball, showing off his shirt.
Whoa, what'd you say there?
Bouncing his ball. So, Matt Hamilton, you go ahead and play Minute to Win It.
Hey, Matt.
What's up?
Randy in Oshkosh was caller 8. He was assigned to you.
Yeah.
And he said, can you do me a favor and tell him to do good?
Okay. All right. Thanks, Randy.
You think you can do that?
Maybe.
All right. I am looking for the 10 smallest U.S. states by population. The 10 smallest U.S. states by population. Make sense?
Population.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Uh-huh.
Your time starts now.
Hawaii.
Hawaii is number 11. We're keeping that rule from last week, so no strike, but that's incorrect.
Okay. Montana.
Montana's number 8.
Oh, I forgot that one.
Wyoming.
Wyoming is number 1. Smallest U.S. state.
Nevada.
Nevada, strike 1.
Utah.
Utah, strike 2.
Okay. Now I gotta slow down.
You do have to slow down. Accurate. You got plenty of time.
Yeah. Man, I'm just thinking out west. Part of me wants to say Alaska, but Alaska.
Alaska's number 3.
Okay.
Totally forgot about Alaska.
Let's say Arkansas.
Is that a final answer?
Yeah.
Strike 3.
I was gonna say there's no way Arkansas is on the list. It's too massive. But I got a stupid one too. I did my last guess. So I ran out of time. I just threw out Mass. But obviously
All
Boston
right.
was in it. But I thought maybe nothing else was around. You know.
Right. I mean, I was just trying to think of like what are big like.
So what I got was
cities
South Dakota, North Dakota,
the
Wyoming,
Dakotas, dang.
Wyoming, Rhode Island, and Idaho.
I really thought you were going to win this week, Matt. I
Ah.
thought this was going to be a sweet spot for you. So you both got the
we
smallest
both lost
U.S.
because we
state.
stink.
Well, Jim, you had a 5 spot. You got half of them.
I'm embarrassed though.
Number 1,
Alaska,
Wyoming.
Montana.
I would have never thought Wyoming's the smallest state in the country.
No,
in
nor
terms
would
of
have I.
population.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming. Number 2, neither of you got Vermont.
See, again, I was
Northeast.
trying to run through my head, but I was like, when's the last time I even thought about it?
Yeah, some of those ones like they just made me nervous. Like
Yes.
Connecticut, like everybody lives in Connecticut and commutes to New York for work, so it's probably pretty populous. But it's so small.
Vermont was the other one I was
Is
trying to
Rhode
think
Island on there just because it's so?
Rhode
I said I
Island
got-
is on there.
Yeah, I got Rhode Island. Yeah, I got Rhode Island.
All
I
right,
guess that
so
makes
I'd like to go in order, though, if that's right with you.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Number 3, Matt got Alaska. 4 and 5, Matt, or Jim both got North Dakota, then South Dakota, 4 and 5, respectively. Number 6, neither of you got. That was Delaware.
See, again,
The East Coast scared me.
it's just a cluster.
Yeah, it is a cluster. Number 7, Rhode Island. Number 8, Montana. Number 9, Maine. And you both missed number 10, New Hampshire.
Again, just that cluster of states. I was having a hard time, pinning them down in my
I was
head.
confident they were smaller in population, but that East Coast is so dense. I was like, there's two different schools of thought. You're thinking the big states out west that have no people, and then you got to start thinking, what's the tiniest state that just doesn't have a city?
So it's
I didn't flip my brain to the tiny state city.
So my brain is more visual, and I was having a hard time nailing down what the other states were in the East. Like I was like, they just were not coming to my brain. So I was like, I know there's smaller ones up there. I knew Rhode Island, but Vermont. I think I said Maine, but that was not. I think that I missed on that one. And
it was on the list.
Okay, then maybe I didn't say Maine. I thought Maine. Maybe that's what I was trying to say when I said Mass. But regardless, I won. Congratulations to who picked me. You picked a winner because I am right. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. The happy hour at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is still Madison's best kept secret. So, shh. From delicious appetizers to amazing drinks, and of course the ambiance provided by that horseshoe bar makes Ruth's Chris Steakhouse a must-go-to. From cocktails with friends, networking happy hours, or just treating the family, and everything in between. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton has everything you're looking for. So the next time you're looking to treat yourself, go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. And remember, it's Madison's best kept secret. Shh.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, it is. I'm Alex Strope, your Sports Center update brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. Experience the Trans Am Speed Tour live and in person, July 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule over at roadamerica.com. ESPN NFL analyst and former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky joined Wilde and Tausch on ESPN Wisconsin yesterday. Talked about a ton of things. One of which was interesting. He said Matt LaFleur and him had talked about the potential of Orlovsky joining the Packers staff. Obviously, that has not come to fruition. Orlovsky also shed some light into what we know now about Jordan Love.
And probably the most important part of it is they were comfortable, no matter what anyone says, just going, okay, it's time for Jordan. Those are the knowns.
Want to hear the rest of the knowns and the rest of that interview? Find it on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Wilde and Tausch. Baseball, the Brewers still in first place of the NL Central. They are still in a series with the Mets. Game 3 of 4 tonight in New York. It's a 6:10 first pitch between the Crew and the Mets. Rutledge and Hamilton continues now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got to chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
It was good. It was a lot of fun, and he seemed like a super normal guy. We were just having some beers, hanging out, just talking about our golf round.
Did he give you butterflies?
No, I didn't quite get butterflies, but I knew he was the one.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. With Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
The NFL, full of hypocrites. Is the NFL becoming hypocritical by suspending/banning players for gambling? 58% of you say yes. Jim is correct, is what they're saying about Hamilton. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light. Are you saying that What are you saying?
I'm just messing with you. That's
okay.
all I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. I just wanted to mess with you. That was it.
I still don't know where I stand on players gambling. I keep going back and forth. Like, part of me is like, who cares? Let them do what they want. And then the other part of me is like, well, they're all buddies with each other. Like, is that a bad thing? Like, are they going to know more than I would because they're buddies with them? Is that fair? I don't know if that's the right answer. I don't know.
The fair part kills me because, again, is it fair if Patrick Mahomes tells his friend Steph Curry and his friend makes money off of it? Is that fair? Like, nothing in life is fair. You know, like, there's always inside information in everything that happens in the entire world, in business, in gambling, in everything. So you're not going to regulate that out. It's just how people
Here's
do business.
the thing. Like, I just don't understand why. My part against it is like, I understand maybe feeling normal when you're a superstar like this is. Maybe gambling does that for you. It's kind of hard. It's hard for me to like wrap my mind around that you need to like gamble to feel better. It's like I feel bad that like you don't get privacy and you don't get to necessarily do everything that you like would normally want to do as a normal person. You can't just flip it on to superstar mode and then go incognito mode and expect nothing to happen. Like I get that, and it can be tough. I understand. But like. You're being paid millions and millions of dollars to like. Is there really nothing else that can help you feel normal? Like you have to gamble?
Now, Matt, everyone's different on this, but you could obviously wrap your brain around how the most hyper-competitive people in the entire world would find a lot of excitement in gambling. Like, literally, the whole documentary about Michael Jordan in The Last Dance, like was he kicked out of the league for gambling? He addressed it when he played the Suns in the first of his 2 three-peats. By the way, he won the title. 3 years in a row, twice.
Yeah,
just so
I'm
we're aware of that. That really hasn't happened, I think, since the Lakers with Kobe Bryant. Just in case people were wondering, it was pretty unique and special. But when Jordan did it that last time before he played the Suns, he actually addressed because there was stuff about his gambling, and he said, "Yes, I love to gamble, and I go to casinos and I bet gambling on golf, and I gamble on a million things with my friends. I do all of that. I do every bit of it." And he was basically said, "I don't have a problem because." I have millions of dollars. I can gamble. It gives me joy. It's what I like to do. It's my hobby. So it's more the idea of, I get what you're saying, of like they can gamble. They can do all these other things. They can gamble if they're friends. Like, here's the thing. If I'll go back to if Aaron Rodgers wanted to bet Jordan Love $1,000, 10-1 odds that I will throw for more touchdowns than you this year.
See, between two guys like that, I don't really have an issue. That doesn't affect anybody.
But
both players want to do their absolute best to win. No one's sloughing off.
But that would be like daily fantasy football. Are they sloughing off? Maybe Aaron Rodgers knows that.
The daily fantasy football. Like I don't necessarily. And daily fantasy football is weird because betting on yourself to do well isn't really an issue,
right? But
in my eyes.
But that's my point of like
it's knowing that like. Somebody who might be the second most expensive running back overall isn't feeling good today because he's your boy,
but again,
or you room with him because he's on your team.
But the inside information
so you
stuff
don't pick him up.
Is bunk though, because like everyone's got info.
Here's the thing: is everyone thinks they have info, but like that is like real info. Like you can call a guy, but you're just assuming that this guy knows somebody who's right.
Okay, but
when you're a player and you're literally talking to the other player and that's what he's telling you, it's like that is bona fide 100% fact.
But okay, but again, it's how different factually is that. Let's say in the NBA, it's not crazy to think that these are not the right names. These people would never gamble, but this is a good way to do it. So Russell Wilson, couldn't talk to Johnny Davis, and Johnny Davis hears from Russell Wilson that it's not an injury report because they're just texting back and forth, having a conversation. They're both Badgers, and there's talking, and here's from Russell that, hey, the top 3 receivers are out for the Broncos. So now Johnny Davis gets placed that bet. So that's inside information that Johnny got from a direct source. Right. And it's fully legal. So my point is inside information.
That's letting information out about your team. That's not legal for what Russell did.
But is Russell sharing it or is he having a conversation?
He clearly shared it.
But I mean,
having a conversation, but
like
Jim,
that's really hard. Like if Russell and Johnny are talking as alums, and then Russell's been like, man, it's a tough week. These guys are hurt. And like they're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Russell's sharing that as a friend. Right?
No, 100%. But like it's your job to not leak it, that especially like that.
Leaking.
That is, Jim. It is talking about situations on your team, regardless if you're just babbling with a friend, is leaking information.
Okay, but what happens if I know NFL people and they accidentally tell me something?
Then they screwed up.
But then they should be suspended for it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they should necessarily. If they get caught and they do, they screwed up. That's because it's the rule.
But now they're not allowed to have friends. To your point, my point is like you were saying, like, oh, these guys need to gamble. Under some of these rules, they're not allowed to have friends and have conversations with their friends. So again, it just goes back.
You're parsing it a little bit.
I'm not parsing it. Like,
okay, he could say, "Hey, it was a rough week at work. What was it about?"
You are aware. But people don't do that. You are aware enough. You are in these celebrity circles enough to know that is a closed group, Matt. That is a group of people that only people in that stratosphere can understand what you're going through. Like that is a closed circle of people who a very small amount of people in this world would know what like Russell or some of those guys are going through. Right? Like that is
I get it.
So like now you're telling, in theory, you're saying that if they were shared information amongst their friends, just having fun, they're out drinking. Russell, again, I'm using Russell as an example because this would never happen. Russell's out and he had one too many mimosas and he lets it slip to someone that is his good friend, and that good friend just takes that info and says, well, I got this info, I might as well just gamble with it. And now you see why the lines are hard to draw. And you see why it's hypocritical.
But, the easy line to draw is if you just don't gamble, then there in no situation is like, can you be in trouble if you just don't?
Okay, but that's different. If Russell, but again, these rules are so
this sharing information thing. I get what you're saying. It's weird, but like, he doesn't have to share with somebody that I don't know. One of their what's his name? Sutton. Who's the wide receiver for the Broncos? I can't even.
Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton. He's not gonna like. Why would he tell somebody that he's got a broken ankle? Like he hurt his ankle today in practice. He's not going to put him on that. We're not going to put him on the injury report. But he kind of twisted it and he's hobbling around a little bit.
Well, I mean, again, a nasty.
Like I didn't say break. I'm changing what I'm saying. Like I watched him kind of roll it.
But again,
he walked it off and continued to practice. But I don't think he's moving 100% right now.
But
why would you share that with somebody?
But what happens if he's like, someone gives him a call and he's like, how you feeling? Like, hey, what's going on, man? They're like, having a tough day, roll my ankle. And now all of a sudden he's suspended?
I mean,
like,
I guess I get that part.
So my point is, like, these are written to, honestly, it's kind of like the NCAA. These are written that if we catch you, we can say, oh, you can't share inside information. People are sharing inside information. That's my point of, you can see how easily inside information.
Well, obviously they're sharing. So and that's why there's professional gamblers that you call.
I will push back strongly on this has anything to do. And that's my whole point. And we had someone chime in, Michael in Spring Grain, you're arguing about nothing. There's nothing wrong with protecting your image, even if you look like a hypocrite. We're not saying there's anything wrong, Michael, actually, with protecting your image. What we're saying is the NFL is hypocritical. Yes, they are protecting their image, and we're not saying anything wrong with that. But that's my whole point. The NFL is being hypocrites because the only reason these public rules are in place is to protect their image. And they're being hypocritical because they're protecting their image from an industry that is paying them billions of dollars.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, all the NFL is optics. So, yes, by putting these rules in place, they are also in mind protecting the integrity of the game. Because if the integrity of the game is sacrificed, then all of a sudden your optics are bad. No.
You're saying it. You're saying it. They are protecting the integrity of the brand, and I agree with you. They are protecting.
The end goal, but they're
but that's what they're doing.
Protect the brand. Sometimes, if you allow gambling and people look at it poorly, it's going to negatively affect your brand.
But you honestly believe that there are not players making cash bets with each other off the books? You really believe in the NFL that's not happening, and it hasn't happened forever?
I do believe that's happening.
You believe they are betting against each other, cash bets. The most competitive people in the world have cash bets against each other, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my point is, and again, we're close. I'm not saying the NFL shouldn't have rules. We'll set aside whether rules should exist. The question we're asking, Matt, is it hypocritical that they are putting these rules in place? I say yes. Now, I understand why they're in place, and should they be in place? Yes, because the whole idea is you're trying to protect the shield. If you're trying to call in 844-770-3776, I don't know if you can because it looks like all the phone numbers are blocked, but Alex Schroff is on his phone goofing around, so who knows. 844-770-3776 is how you chime in. If you were trying to call in, all the numbers were blocked, but now you can call in. You can also text in as well. We get a lot of text messages there. But I just wanted to point these different things out. And look, Rutledge is an idiot guy, goes a whole other way. Look at all the other things of sexual assault and violence that players are getting less suspensions for than the gambling. So again, it's all about protecting the brand.
Disagree with that.
But again, what the main question is the NFL being hypocrites. Yes, they are reaping in billions of dollars and then also saying gambling bad for our guys. They're trying to protect their image. There's nothing wrong with being hypocritical. There's nothing wrong with trying to protect your brand. That's their purpose as a business.
So you're saying the only way, like, they shouldn't take money from DraftKings if they don't want to allow their players to gamble. Because they are a marketing entity. to not take an offer like DraftKings because you don't want your players gambling because you're worried about optics, and I know you don't agree, and the integrity of the game. It's crazy.
They always have cared about the integrity of the game. This has nothing to do with the integrity of the game.
Jim,
but
you
gambling,
cannot say gambling doesn't. The Chicago Black Sox are a thing.
Right, and when was that?
You're telling me it wouldn't ever happen again?
You proved my point.
How did I prove your point?
Tim Donaghy happened. It happened when it was legal. You proved my point. Yes. You exactly proved my point that it's existed forever, and people cheat all the time, and these rules have nothing to do with the integrity of the game and all about the brand of the game. And I don't care. It's fine by trying to protect the brand of the game. My point is, people are going to illegally gamble forever.
All those players got banned from baseball.
Right, but you proved my point that the rule, it did not affect the integrity of the game.
Yes, it did. They intentionally lost. The integrity of the game was gone.
But these rules, my point being that these rules existed like a long time ago, forever. My whole point was forever players have bet money on games. Whether it was legal or illegal, they've always bet money on games.
And forever you could get in trouble for it. And now they're still doing it, and here we are like, what did you know? How you didn't know?
No, but that's not
so sad.
Wait, Matt, no. We already agreed that's not the conversation today.
I mean, at the end of the day, our conversation doesn't matter because the rules are the rules, and if you don't follow them, you're going to get fined. So, like, our conversation really doesn't matter.
We're done now, because if you're going down there, fine. You're right. The rules are the rules, Grandpa. You got to follow the rules. Never speed. Always wear your seatbelt. Never smoke weed. Never exceed legal alcohol. Never drink alcohol before the age of 21. Every one of those rules, you have to follow them to a T. Absolutely, Grandpa. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado and its TurboMax engine, delivering impressive power with no compromised durability. Whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends, this is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
You'll notice that some jewelry stores in the area are giving big, deep down discounts, as much as 60%. But you know what they're doing, don't you? They're just marking it up to mark it down. That's why for over 30 years, Chalmers Jewelers has offered you truth in pricing. You will always find great value on unique custom jewelry at Chalmers Jewelers. Truth in pricing is what it's always been.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. Looking for a team to play for in the spring and summer of 2024? Rays tryouts begin in July and August, and sign-ups are open now. Since 2010, the Rays have developed over 370 college players, including over 140 players committed to Division I baseball and 17 MLB draft picks. Rays Baseball. Rays your game.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
I need your love. You got me burning up. I think I'll call you Mrs. Fahrenheit.
Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The Mounds are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
You know who else crushes it? My good friends at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You can drive out there. You can. You know what I could do? I could get in my truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. I could take my camper down past the Illinois border, and just because I wouldn't do it otherwise,
Right.
but because it's legal down there, I'll gamble down there and I'll get some weed down there because it's legal down there.
Yeah.
But then I have to do it all down there. I can't
Exactly.
Come back here.
Good for
Because
you.
the only reason anyone does anything is because it's legal or not illegal. But Simden Chevy in
I
Mount Horeb.
appreciate you following the
Yeah,
rules.
yes. I mean, that's the only thing. I buckle my seatbelt. I never break any. I never speed in my truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. But if you want to be only minutes away from a better buying experience, go see Dan and his team out at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Let's go out to Rob and Madison.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Rob?
I was about to say you guys should take a little field trip to South Beloit and go on halves on a couple joints. You guys are bickering like Scalzo and Brust.
Oh, I know, and that
don't
is
make
not
me
what
pull
we're
my
looking
best
for.
of Madison vote. Don't make me pull my best of Madison vote, boys.
All right, Robbie.
So just wait here. Just wait.
Yeah.
So back to the NFL rules. I mean, that's why there's common sense laws and rules, and there's an adult in the room making those rules and who makes the determination. You know, it's when, like, say if, so-and-so is injured, well, say if that guy says it, his buddy goes to it, and then he gets a kickback, that's a problem. But that's why there's not morons in charge of all this, and they're going to look into it. Like, what was it? Probably when was the original guys that got fined and suspended? Like a month ago? 60 days ago?
Couple months.
Yeah, about that. It was probably maybe a month and a half.
And
yeah.
everybody knew that there was another batch of players coming. Why did it take so long? Because the adults in the office made common sense, thinking happen, not just black and white. So, there, I just solved it for you. No more bickering.
There you go, Rob. Well,
Thanks,
moving on.
Rob.
We're going to throw some stones. Bicker about other things.
The guys think they have the answers to everything.
I'm the best there is.
People like me. So it's time to put them to the test.
That's some booty, Jim.
That's just like your opinion, man.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
What's the worst way to die?
Drowning.
I'm not saying it.
What do you mean you're not saying it?
Because the people,
Gambling.
5 people just experienced it.
Drowning.
Submarine?
Implosion? Can you imagine?
No. Well, wait, no, implosion. If you read all the stuff, it happens so fast, your brain doesn't even process that you're dying or you're dead.
Oh my
That
gosh.
would not be the worst
That
way to die,
looks
then.
brutal, though.
But you wouldn't even know it happened. You'd be like, oh, look at us going to Titanic. Boom. We're in heaven now. What happened?
Sorry, I just needed to morbidly lighten the mood around here. Are you guys okay?
It's fine.
It seemed to get a little personal there at some points.
What personal? What's personal about it?
I'm not going
I
to
don't even
repeat what
gamble.
was said. I'm not going to repeat what was said between the two of you, but it happened on the air. It seemed a little personal. Everybody okay? I'm just making sure.
I have no idea what would have been
I'm
personal.
doing my
so.
job as the executive producer, checking on my talent.
Stovey, sometimes we're going to disagree and not come to an agreement, and it's going to get heated, but that's like the idea. That is, we're not going to let it affect us.
Alex, I have done shows and bickered with people from Knightsville to Scalzo across the board, and I have no problems with any of them.
Yeah.
Maybe they have problems.
Every once in a while, we're going to bicker about stuff. Jim's not always right in my mind, and I'm not always right in his.
Rutledge is an idiot.
I agree, Jim. All right, let's move on. LeBron James knocking down his $37 million mansion to build, quote, my dream home. What do you make of that news, Matthew? $37 million mansion gone so LeBron James can build his dream home.
You know, honestly, I have zero issue with that. If you make that much money and you can afford it and you love the location, go ahead and do it. That's the one thing for all you people who are looking to buy a home. Homes, they're going to be different. There's going to be homes you like. You can never, ever, ever change the location of your home. LeBron probably just really likes the spot. Yeah, you're tearing down an enormous home that is perfectly fine, I'm sure, but you know, you have the money, you just do it. I don't see an issue with this.
Yes and no. I hope, but LeBron seems like a pretty responsible person. I mean, I hope he's trying to salvage as much as possible. That's massive waste.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be like some upcycling to something.
Yeah,
like you
so
can take the usable stuff out.
Yeah. I hope that's the case because it does seem like massive waste. And where is his home?
Probably near LA.
In California, yeah.
In California. So, like, yeah, if you're by the ocean, like, that's what happens. Like, it's weird that you would tear down your own stuff and build on top of it, but, like, when I lived in South Florida, heck, if you live by the lakes here, most of the people tear down the old houses from the 50s and 60s. Someone moves, that person sells their house for $600,000-$700,000, and then someone puts $1 million house on top of it.
I mean, I guess some of them...
But the only difference is, like, those houses are trash that were torn down, and then they're built a new one on top of it.
I actually have a family friend who had a perfectly good house on the lake, and they just upgraded it because they knew that if it was bigger, they could sell it for more.
But upgraded it or tore it down and rebuilt?
They tore it down and rebuilt it.
Like, how old was the house?
I mean, you know, 70s probably, 60s.
So, but I'm saying, like, this, the only difference is, like, this is a mansion that's being torn down. That's it.
I mean, I was saying it's still a perfectly functional house. This house was in good shape.
But that happens.
It's not like
that happens off the house from the 70s
just
torn down.
Wanted to make more money off it when they sell it.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
No.
All right, I saw maybe the most messed up thing I've ever seen on the internet today, and I'm just going to ask you about it.
All right.
So it's a couple pictures of a statue in France. French journalist Victor Noir, I believe is how you say that. Mm-hmm. And his grave, I'm just going to read what this tweet from History in Memes on
so
Twitter.
factual stuff there, right?
It is.
Oh, yeah? It's like
I looked
whalebone or whatever.
I looked into it.
Bakhtiari and Tauscher follow.
So the grave features a sculpture with a highly noticeable protuberance in his trouser area. And this is because there is a... It's because there's a myth where women can enhance fertility, bring about a blissful sex life, or even find a husband within a year by following this ritual. The ritual involves placing a flower in the upturned top hat, kissing the statue on the lips, and rubbing an area of the statue. Over time, these specific parts of the statue have become worn due to the legend's popularity.
Uh-huh.
So I ask you, not necessarily if you believe in, like, you know, what would this be?
Myth?
Yeah,
legend?
not if you believe in myths or legends, but would you, I guess, get gratification from a statue if the opportunity presented itself, Jim?
Well, wait. I thought they... anyways, no, but I will say this. In all seriousness, look, I've heard horror stories, people trying for fertility or do these sorts of things, like... People get desperate. So, like, yes, it is very important. It's a serious topic. Like, I would say that if people had fertility issues, like, I wouldn't shame anyone for trying to get that solved.
Yeah.
And so that
How
part
about
of it,
the husband part of it? Finding a husband within the year if you do this.
again, we've all seen, what is it, the wedding, what's the movie with Chris Bridesmaid? Mm-hmm. Again, everyone's got their own personal part of it. So I'm not going to shame anyone if they're desperate for love. I'm not going to do it, but I would shame them for doing it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, Barney Stone, I'm in. This sounds like the same kind of thing. Basically, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to go seek out luck, go ahead and do it.
Yes. I mean, I think traditions like like that kind of thing are fun. Even though they
Look,
might
good time,
not
man.
have any.
That's like a lot of fun.
No,
yeah.
seriously, it's like, yeah, for some reason we all thought that kissing the statue of this guy and rubbing his ding dong, his statue ding dong is going to bring me a husband. Like, that's just funny. Like, we know it doesn't.
It's lore, right?
But yeah, it's funny lore. Like, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
It's a statue.
Last one for you, fellas. This comes from our friend Tim in Mount Horeb, who sent this to me earlier this week. We just haven't had the time to get to it. So, the new dish out in China, the new fad, is stir-fried stones. So they take stones, they mix them or fry them in like a wok, and season them like you would a normal stir-fry. Except
Rocks.
it's just stones,
Okay.
right? So you suck on them and dispose of them. That's a direct quote from CNN's article. Suck and dispose. Do what you will with that. I'm just
Sound like
curious
an
if you guys would
80s
try
hair
this.
metal
'Cause
band.
It does not sound filling whatsoever, but I think I would try it, Matt.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things like you try just to say you did it. I obviously am not going to enjoy a rock covered in soy sauce and seasonings. Like I don't understand it. But again, I'm not going to knock it, and I'm definitely going to give it a spin if someone offers it to me. I'm not going to pay for that.
And
deal,
where was
though.
this?
China.
So I would say again, like there's certain things that would like gross me out that I wouldn't be able to eat. But if I was somewhere and this was like the delicacy or they wanted me to try it, I could try one. Why not?
Yeah.
Again, like it's not gonna hurt.
seasoned
Like this
rock.
one's not gonna hurt me. Like there's other things that might make me gag or different types. But if it's just trying it, why not? It doesn't seem to bother anything. I wouldn't make it myself. But if somewhere's famous for it and I don't have to pay for it, there's something to try it.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm definitely not purchasing seasoned rocks to suck on.
Again, if
that's
it was
for
like
sure.
seasoned glass, no.
I'm not buying seasoned rocks to suck on.
Yeah.
A year from now, we're going to see Matt coming back from some tournament.
Oh,
be
no
like,
doubt.
Hey, guys, I got you a bag of rocks to suck on.
I might.
You
You
say
keep telling me I'm wrong all day. I might bring you a rock to suck on.
Last one, fellas. Today, National Body Piercing Day. If I required you to get a body piercing right now, what would it be, Jim?
Oh, God. Different than, like, ear?
I think it has to be somewhere I cannot visibly see right now. Which I guess you're wearing headphones. So.
Yeah. Man, like a nose count?
Sure.
That wouldn't be great on me, but I think it's better than the
We doing a
rest.
stud or are we doing like the bull one?
I think I'd do like a stud.
Oh,
the Tupac
man.
Shakur.
I want to see
Tupac
Jimmy with the
Shakur
septum
style.
piercing.
Yeah.
The Tupac Shakur style, I'll do the stud. Because, look, man, it's just not my thing.
Yeah. I had a lip ring when I was like 20 years old.
Oh.
So
Really?
Big,
He should
big
lose
regrets
for
there.
having a lip
Big
ring.
regrets on that one. Took that. It probably had it for like
What was your
10
dad's
months.
reaction to that one?
I wasn't living at home.
Okay.
That was.
But he had to, like,
something
see you.
lose.
Oh,
Yeah,
know
I mean,
about it.
come on. I'm sure he was just like a dumb kid.
Yeah.
But again, it's just piercing. You just take it out.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, I don't know what I would go for now.
You seem like a nipple piercing type of guy.
Ah.
And I don't mean that in a rude way.
I think that would hurt.
Yeah, it
Honestly,
seems like-
I might lean maybe the septum. Honestly, it would just be like a little like mustache trinket.
Nah. I'd rather you when you take the tarp off.
Which
You got some
happens so frequently.
But it was, I feel like it's like uncomfortable.
You act like you didn't take your
I
shirt
had
off
a
on the show
friend who
last
did
week.
it, and they said it was like brutal. Like driving home, he couldn't even like use
Wait,
that
this was
arm.
the septum or this is
The nipple piercing.
Septum's in your nose.
I'm aware. I
Okay.
didn't know which piercing he was referring to.
Yeah, and again, I had a friend that did that, and he said it was just absolutely brutal. I don't want that.
No.
I'd get one.
Ugh.
Just one.
Here's the thing. There's no point to that. You got to double up if you're doing it.
No, just one.
You're so weird.
Just the left one.
So you could be Taylor can walk you around the apartment or what?
Yeah, let's leash it up.
There you go.
Kinky.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here.
Good job, Matt.
Thank you.
Hey, Matt.
Huh.
You're right.
Thanks. Hey.
Hey, Matt, I know you're right about one thing, and that's about how much you love Revive Restoration.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. I wish they could come and clean up this wreck, but they could take care of other accidents instead of the ones that you hear on the radio. You know, things like smoke, water, fire, mold. They can remove asbestos and do a whole lot more for you. Revive Restoration has your home covered 24/7. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive Restoration and the Revive Pros to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. There's no project too big or too small, so the next time you need help restoring your home or business back to its former glory, Revive Restoration has your back. You can go to revivepros.com, or you can call our friend Josh over at Revive Restoration. Best in the business.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team. Vote at channel3000.com. People really like this show.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance, because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I love being an orthopedic surgeon because I can help people improve their lives. My name is Ashish Raval. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Stoughton Hospital and the Ortho Team Clinic. My specialty is sports medicine, focusing specifically on the care of the shoulder, hip, and knee. So the goal for me is always to see patients who want to get back to their active lifestyle. The techniques that I use now allow patients to return back to the activities, including sports, faster than ever before.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Take the long, strange trip with Scalzo and Brust. Weekdays from 4 to 6.
I can't get the image out of a full movie theater watching Josh's sex tape. You guys would be there.
Go, baby, go! I'd be, Joshy, I'd be cheering my ass off for you.
Look, I would be right there next to you, Ben, like right next to you in the seat. And I would push for it to be nominated for short film of the year.
Whoa!
Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light. Weekdays 4 to 6 on 100.5 ESPN. Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Until you toe to toe, I should be scared, honey, maybe so. But I ain't worried about it right now. Keeping dreams alive, 1999 heroes. I ain't worried about it right now. Swimming in the floods, dancing on the clouds below. I ain't worried about it.
Almost ended up with a pet bat at the Rutledge household. During the show yesterday, Matt Hamilton, I got a text from my wife, the photo of a bat in a box, and I didn't know what to make of this. So I initially asked, and this is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. He's Matt Hamilton, I'm Jim Rutledge, and if Mountains Blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
Alex Stroff behind the glass. So this bat is in a box, and my wife sends me the photo of it, and I said, where did this come from? So apparently when they were at the playground, they found this bat on the ground in the middle of the day. So not a vampire bat, because it was still moving around. And they decided in their, I guess, tree-hugging wisdom, they were going to save this bat. So they gathered up this bat, put it in a shoebox, and brought it back to the house. And my wife then all of a sudden got very worried because she's like, if this bat dies, like here, all these children who are all 10 or under are going to be distraught. Because my first thought was, oh, God, did Dolly, our dog, did she catch this bat? Because she's been known to flag down birds and kill them in front of the kids at daycare. So not the best experiences in the past with this. So I thought maybe Dolly had flagged down his bat and attacked it. She's also gotten bunny rabbits, too. So anyways, I guess my question would be 844-770-3776. What do you do with this bat? Now, we did find out what to do with them, but what would you do? And Alex and Matt can chime in here as well, 844-770-3776. If you tried to rescue a bat, what would you do?
I can tell you what I would do because I've been in a very similar situation. I found a bird.
Okay.
Right? And it was me and my backyard neighbor.
I'm just picturing Dumb and Dumber now.
Basically, me and my... he's a younger friend. I was probably 12 at the time. He was 10, and we found this bird in his backyard and felt bad for it. It was clearly just hopping around. It couldn't fly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we put it in a shoebox. Same thing. We go to his parents, and they're like, "Well, I guess we take it to like a clinic of some sort." So yeah, we actually took it to I think it was on Broadway, down kind of on the east side. There's it's not an animal shelter, but I don't know, some urgent care for animals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turns out all they do is just charge you $125 to euthanize it because there's really nothing they can do for the wild animal. So if it is actually injured, it's a goner.
All right, Stroff, what would you have done?
And I was devastated, like those kids were. I did not feel super great that we thought we were saving this thing, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, we put it down."
Yeah, but
that's $125.
Yeah, fair. Here's the issue: I would never be in a position to want to save a bat. If I saw a struggling bat on the ground, I don't.
It was like a cute little animal. I mean,
bats are cute. Bats are 0%. They take out all the things that bite you.
Yeah,
they
get rid of mosquitoes.
They are so good for you.
Didn't they start COVID?
No.
Right, okay.
That's
all right.
Here's the thing. You don't know what it is. It was a wet market. Who knows what it is. I'm not going to get into it.
All right.
Didn't somebody?
You're saying someone ate a bat?
No, not ate.
Oh, come on. What, have you been watching South Park?
Yeah.
Get out of here. First of all, in South Park, it was a pangolin.
If you go to a website and it starts with the letter Q, don't get the news from it, okay?
It could have been a bat.
Real.
Yes, it could have been a bat, but that's not the issue. There is not a lot of things more satisfying than watching a bush.
So you would just apparently Strofe gets satisfaction out of watching a baby bat die in the sun.
No satisfaction. I don't know what I would do. I'd call animal control and leave.
You wouldn't. You would just leave it there.
I'm not picking that thing up.
Not with a shoebox and a towel.
If that makes me a bad person, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just asking. So you would just let it die?
No, I'd call somebody.
So Strofe has a weird bat complex.
I don't like bats.
What about a bird? What about an animal?
Do you
like
not
a bunny?
like flying things in general?
Well, birds aren't real.
Oh God! All right, jeez, stop with the Q sites. All right. What about a bunny rabbit? Let's say it's limping around.
Now you're in the right territory. I'd help.
Okay.
I'd do whatever it takes.
See, I think bunnies are more of a nuisance than bats are. Bunnies dig around my gardens and stuff. They've been eating my peppers. All 4 of my pepper plants gone because of rabbits.
Well, I don't own a house, so I don't have.
So you know what? Save the bat. Forget the bunny.
House D chimes in, and I'm with him on this one. Speaking of bats, we all need to watch What We Do in the Shadows. I do hear that is really funny.
That show is 10 out of 10 hilarious.
And I believe Nicolas Cage is in a new movie where he plays like a vampire.
He's a vampire.
Yeah, that one looked like one I wanted to see as well.
I'll tell you what I won't be watching.
Oh, God. You're
Anything with Nicolas Cage in it.
Yeah, he's a weird Nicolas Cage hater. He grew up in like that meme era where he was like a bad actor, according to the meme, and he's like, oh, fact, saw it on the internet.
Yep.
This Q site said Nick Cage was bad at it.
Mike the Postman chimes in, wooden spike through the heart. Can't be too careful.
Wow. That's what... Whoa, that's like what Strofe would do.
Mike's got it.
Tim in Oregon chimes in, if it died, I'd give it a little burial. I promise you this, if it had died...
You were burying it.
We were burying it.
Yeah.
And you were going to have a priest come over and conduct a whole thing.
No.
Maybe an exorcism.
If you forget, I'm an ordained minister.
As am I, yeah.
So when we had to bury the guinea pig, I said
Can
a
you
few
give
words.
me a taste of that?
No.
I have no idea.
You said a few words. What were those few words?
Could not tell you. Could not tell you.
We
at
are
all.
gathered here today to celebrate the life of a great pet.
You're talking to the guy that when my wife took it to the vet and they're like, yeah, it'd be like $500 to like save or keep the do a surgery on a guinea pig, keep it alive longer. I'm like, well, I guess it's going to die at some point. I'm not spending $500. I could buy 500. I could buy 5,000 guinea pigs or whatever for $500. Like, no, like, are you insane? Like, why would I spend this kind of money on something that's? It was like 4 years old. They have a lifespan of like 5 to 6 years. Like, pass.
Jim probably got up there and went, in Peru, Mr. Wiggles was a delicacy.
Right.
But here he was a pet.
Pretty good, Matt.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure it was something along the lines like, you all love this guinea pig very much. I can't remember the name of the guinea pig. I literally can't. It's gone. So if you are wondering, the bat, my wife called essentially some sort of animal control, humane society thing. If you are wondering, at least in the Oregon area, Madison area, they will not help bunnies anymore. They're maxed out on that. But the bat, they did come and pick up. They took it. We don't know if it lived or died, but they came and took it, and they're trying to nurse it back to health.
And that's what they told the kids.
Well, that's what she told me, too. And
Yeah.
I would not be heartbroken either way. I mean,
They sent the bat to the farm so it could live happy and free at the farm.
Right. Maybe it'll live long enough to retire, and if it does, it should call Canopy Wealth Management. They take time to get to truly know and understand your dynamics and values and goals for your family. No family fits a generic mold. Neither should your financial plan. At Canopy, their clients' financial goals are something they're constantly striving to help reach maximum potential, which is why they work solely in your best interest. You define your goals, and they work towards making them happen with their comprehensive financial planning. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started with them today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. After some flipped commitments and losing out on the state's top 5 prospects in the class of 2024, the reaction to Wisconsin football's recruiting continues. Former Badgers linebacker Chris Orr was on Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison earlier this week and said there's no reason to fret.
I think every program anywhere wants to lock down their state. You know, it sounds great on paper, but at the end of the day, you want to get the best 25 in. I don't think there's a need to panic. I don't know where the panic is coming from because, honestly, you just want people that fit the culture.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
The original hard iced tea started in 2001 in Cincinnati, Ohio. For Twisted Tea, the dream was simple. Brew a refreshing tea with flavors everyone loves and add a twist. With endless styles such as half and half, blueberry, peach, mango, and raspberry, you can always keep it twisted. Find Twisted Tea near you at twistedtea.com/locations. America parties with tea. Must be 21 or older to enjoy.
Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win a case of Twisted Tea's limited edition party pack. The summer party pack features the original half and half and peach flavors along with a new limited edition flavor, Twisted Tea Rocket Pop. The new style combines the flavors of the classic Rocket Pop popsicle, lemon lime cherry, and blue raspberry, punched up with a taste of authentic hard iced tea. Listen every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win some free beer, or in this case, some free Twisted Iced Tea. That's 2:45 every Thursday.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Badger football tickets are on sale now. A new era of Wisconsin football kicks off this fall, and now is your chance to be there when Coach Fickle and the team takes the field. Don't wait. Order your tickets today and make plans to be part of the best game day atmosphere in college football. For more information and to purchase your Wisconsin football tickets, visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. The season kicks off September 2nd, so don't wait. That's uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
I got my head out the sunroof. I'm blasting our favorite tunes. I only got one thing on my mind. You got me stuck on the thought of you. You're making me feel brand new. You're more than a sunshine in my eyes. You got those pretty eyes in your head. You know it. You got me dancing in my bed, so let me show it. You are exactly what I want. Kinda cool and kinda not. Wanna give myself to you. Yeah.
Rutledge and Hamilton, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We roll on. And, man, Bat's got some interesting play on the show. Linkster chimes in asking if my wife knew that it could be rabid. You know, out of the two of us, I'll leave my... she definitely was aware, and I'm sure she kept the kids away of it, because out of the two of us, she's going to be the more precautious one than even I am. But you can chime in the show, 844-770-3776. What would you do if you saw a baby bat struggling on the ground in the sun?
I just want to confirm that I heard that correctly. Did you just imply that you are a very cautious human?
No, I'm saying that she would be the one that would be like, okay, we should not bring a bat into the house.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Dad's usually more of like, you know, when I take the kids to the park and my wife's there, she's like, why are you letting them do all this stuff? I'm like, they do this all the time. Like, you know, like it's one of those things of, I don't, like, they need to just go and fall and, like, they're fine. I mean, if they do something really reckless and stupid, I'll rein them in. But thankfully, girls less likely to do something really insane.
That's fair.
Yeah, they usually try to pull off some really wild gymnastic stunts and stuff like that, but nothing like jump off the top of a swing set. Like that would be something that I would imagine could happen, but not for my kids there. This is Rutledge and Hamilton. They will not be doing something like that. So, guys, I have a project here, and I would love people to chime in with any suggestions, 844-770-3776. So my wife at our old house, we had a clothesline. She loves hanging clothes out in the clothesline, loves the smell of it. And like your clothes, you know, you get the sun dry and like she just like the fresh air smell on your clothes, and it does smell nice. So she's been on this for a while now. I've been in the house for a few years, and so she's been trying to get this done. So my father, now one, the ground is really hard right now, so which is less than great trying to dig a hole. But my father-in-law came out. He helped me because he's a farmer. He could just kind of help me put together. We put together the base, the two pieces.
Wait, you married a farmer's daughter?
Yes.
There's so many country songs about you.
There we go. As you know, I'm a big country fan, so I know all those songs. But, so, Matt, I've dug into the ground in two different spots in the yard, and I hit rock, like, less than a foot in. Like, big, like, unmovable rock. Like, so I'm getting the feeling that, and nice thing about this is that we live in a house currently where, like, some pump, knock on wood, like, never runs. And now I think I know why, because I think when they built this neighborhood, I think they just laid sod down on like a couple inches of dirt and grass down on top of a lot of limestone or rock, because everywhere I dig in this yard, about a foot down, I'm running into unmovable rock. So now we're in this position of my wife wants me to try a few more holes in the yard. And I'm like, fine, but I really just want to have a bunch of holes in the yard, because I don't think in these 3 places I've tried, we're going to be able to find a new spot that doesn't have massive rock underneath it, because everywhere I'm digging, I'm running into it. But the idea is, what we've come up with, and maybe someone's got a better idea, is I was going to get some like half whiskey barrel sort of things. You can buy them at the store and fill those with cement and then put the post in that. Now, I've seen some stuff like that on Pinterest, but I will take any other suggestions to get around this. Obviously, I have to cut the post down so it'll be at the right height for her, because usually you put it in the ground. But that one then, so basically I'd fill it about halfway, 3/4 with cement so it won't tip or won't go anywhere, and put dirt on top, and then she could put some flowers in it.
Well, I think it's kind of
So that's one idea, but if you got another idea, Matt, I know you're handy. Maybe your friends at Olson Toon could give me an idea as well, but you can chime in 844-770-3776.
I was thinking it might be easier than trying to like find a whiskey barrel and cutting it in half, and then obviously dealing with wood and keeping that fresh. You can just buy some of those like paver stones and stack them, almost like you were making like a fire pit. Just make 2, same idea. Fill the bottom half with concrete in your post, and then dirt on the top half, and do flowers.
Yeah, that'd be a more.
But then you could just. It's like a permanent thing where the rocks are never going to need like maintenance. Where that barrel, you're probably either going to have to get a new one, or at the very least, like restain the wood just to keep it. It would look nice, but I think the rock or some sort of like finished landscaping. Maybe it's brick, maybe it's paver stones, maybe it's like just cinder block. I don't know, but I think that's
a good idea, because I wasn't gonna like the whiskey, like selling it like the big box stores now. You can buy like one that's already cut in half. But your point of the wood part is interesting. That is a good point.
Yeah, because you got to maintain a deck, and you literally bought a plastic deck so you didn't have to maintain a wood deck.
Yes.
Why would you go ahead and put a wood barrel out there?
Yes, I gotta look. The phone lines have just blown up with this. Apparently, this was the topic of the day. JJ and Poinette, a 5-gallon bucket with cement, that would work. I don't know.
Not pretty, but it would work.
Yes, I don't know. My wife will sign off. Will sign off on that one. Tim in Oregon chimes in. Welcome to Rockland. 1 foot is pretty good, and he said don't get stubborn and try to dig it deeper, which is a good point. Now, a different part of Oregon I lived in was super swampy, and we had the sump pump ran 24/7. So I am happy where we are now. Chris from Manitowoc Water chimes in. Buy some treated 2x4s, 2x6s. Build yourself a little tripod to hang. We already bought these things. It's not a tripod. We already bought and built out. We didn't realize this was going to be a problem because we're over.
Right.
So everything else is built out. So I like the idea, Chris, but we're already far enough in. I got to figure out how to weight these stakes into the ground. Adam Madison chimes in. Get a stake or a piece of rebarb a couple feet long and pound that into the ground and see if you hit rock. It gets a lot easier than digging a hole. That it was one thing we were thinking about. Could we put something into the wood that would then kick out?
Well, what he's saying is like you go to a spot, pound a piece of rebar in. If you hit a rock, you know not to dig there.
There you go.
It's a lot easier than digging a 1 foot hole on all sides and then hitting a rock and being like, shoot, well, I dug a 1 by 1 hole, and now I got to refill it. He's saying you can use it as a probe, essentially.
That's actually a really good point, because one of the things we're thinking about was that, like, for fences, a lot of times you don't have to get very far on the ground, and then they kind of create like a footing, like they kick out, like it's like
that's maybe something you could do. You could maybe buy like a footed stand for it and then cover it with dirt. That way it only needs to be a foot deep, but it's like got a wide base that's
and that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing we're trying to figure out. So I appreciate all of the suggestions there. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by the people's favorite beer, Coors Light.
And I was right.
Yeah, you were.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning for Sunday Karma on a